Welcome to the Rad Dad Redemption Podcast. Here's your hosts, Drew and Dex.
All right, welcome back. This is actually take two.
Take two, yeah. I didn't turn off my alarms on my phone, so we were distracted.
Which was a funny bit because we were just talking before we jumped back into it. I don't set alarms ever for anything. Even in the morning, I just let the kids wake me up. And today they both slept in, so I texted you. I was like, I just woke up at like 9:02.
So Monday to Friday, you aren't woken by an alarm?
No.
Are you just, your internal clock is amazing?
No, it's no. If nobody woke me up, I could sleep till noon.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like I risk it every single Monday to Friday that I could like completely be late for work.
And it's not even a kids thing where they're getting you up. It's just...
They usually get me up. That's usually my alarm is the kids
alarm.
Will get me up. But like there's been like today, again, Kennedy, she like went downstairs and was watching TV and Kaylee slept in. And so I also slept in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need an alarm. I need several alarms.
Evidently.
I have alarms set throughout the day. I've got my wake up alarm. I've got my, hey, you actually need to wake up alarm. I've got my, you should get in the car and go to work alarm. I've got the, go and pick this stuff up at the end of the day alarm. You're hanging out with so-and-so. Yeah, I have to, my whole day is managed by alarms.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I use calendars. Like, I don't want it to seem like I'm just like raw dogging the day and I've got no idea what's going on, what time. Like, I got all my meetings in my work calendar and stuff, and I get notifications for that. But it's funny because I had to change it. Alicia was like, you should really change your work alarms to be like a half hour before your meeting, because there's been times, like, I have a flexible schedule at work. So I'll be like sitting at home, working at home, and I'm like not showered. I'm like doing some reports or something. And then I'll get a notification. It's like, meeting in the Okotoks branch. 15 minutes, and I'm just like, oh fuck. And then it's like, luckily I live 2 minutes from work, so it's like world's fastest shower, brushing your teeth while you're showering, put on like first outfit you see and like out the door. But it's so frantic. Like, she's like, why do you do that to yourself? You give yourself 15 minutes.
It's your system.
Yeah.
My system of alarms, my alarm system is highly inefficient, but it's what works for me.
And that's all that matters, what works for you.
And sometimes I do the thing. Have you ever entered someone's number in your phone, like in passing? You meet someone, they're like, oh, we should meet up, we should go for a coffee, and then you put it in as something silly?
No.
Oh.
No, I can't say I've done that.
Oh, my phone is just filled with, it'll be Dex Dunford, and then underneath it'll be like, that guy. And then underneath it'll be like, friend from work. You know?
You're like, which friend from work?
It's just a mishmash of like descriptors, and that's what my alarms are too. So my system of alarms works, but sometimes an alarm will go off and it'll just say one word, and I'll have no idea what past Drew was trying to tell future Drew. It's a total mystery.
It's like a little game you can play with yourself.
Yeah. Yes, this early onset Alzheimer's I'm dealing with, and I just... I'll get an alarm and I'm like, what does it mean? What was I trying to tell myself?
I will give people my number, but I will not enter them in my phone right away. I'll be like, you have to text me with your first and last name.
Okay? That's a good system.
And then I add them sometimes, but then sometimes like they will forget to text me and I'll be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to call that person, but I don't have their information whatsoever.
I'm just gonna I wanna dive into this a bit. I didn't think I was the only person that did this, but going through my phone, just take a look at the contacts. The context of the contacts. I've got Bob, Westridge Electric. Okay.
Okay, so Bob works at Westridge Electric.
Yeah, there you go. Brendan, Jack Bauer, Rennie, Bourne, Bond.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's obviously a secret agent of some sort. Corey, Bob's neighbor.
Okay, well, is that Bob from Westridge Electric?
Maybe. I wish it said Corey, Bob from Westridge Electrics, because I've got a couple Bobs in here too. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bob is not very descriptive.
That's, Grady the Grady.
Okay.
That can only be one Grady, so there's a good one. So that's kind of my thing, is I'll enter it in as I'm in that moment, how I'm thinking about it.
I think I'm the total opposite of you. I'm very formal with my contacts. It's always first name, last name. Even like my own mother is in there as Ann Wasco, and my own wife is Alicia Dunford. It's not like honey with a heart. It's her full name.
Megan is just wife spelt incorrectly.
Oh.
Yeah, and most people aren't in my phone.
Oh, you're
Like,
just...
if you're a really good friend, if you're like a pal, I have your number memorized. It's actually,
That's impressive.
yeah, it goes against the whole like I'm losing my mind and need alarms all the time thing. It's like my one thing. It's my one tism.
You're like the Rain Man of phone numbers.
Phone numbers, yeah. I could tell you a lot of people's phone numbers, like their landlines from back in the day, just because I got them burned into my memory.
Wow.
And I want to start reciting them, but I think that's a major security.
Yeah, now
breach.
we've just revealed like a bunch of people's contact names and stuff and like full names.
Yeah.
Let's stop at phone numbers.
Full names: Bob from Westridge Electric.
I enter all of my contacts with their full name, social insurance number, address.
That's you. You got to be detailed.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, okay. That was fun. That was a fun start to the podcast.
Is it interesting?
Differences.
Yeah.
Everybody's sitting there like now they're thinking about their own contact strategies.
That's what we do. We get into your brain. How do you organize your phone? How do you organize your life? Are you using alarms?
Send us a screenshot of all your contacts.
Yeah, please. And their personal info. Go deep. Get it all to us.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like this is, I know it's not our first episode of the year, but it kind of feels like it. Like we did the New Year's one, which was very like themed. And then we did the clip show.
The New Year's theme, we had a mission. We're on our mission currently.
We are on our mission.
And probably a better start to the episode, and this was the direction our first take was going, was that you're looking good.
Yeah.
How is the fitness challenge going? How is the 420 Rad Dad Hitler's birthday extravaganza fitness challenge? How is it treating you, my friend?
It's actually been pretty good. I was going to say, I think you're beating me so far. I feel like I can see it on you more than I can see it on myself. But also, I feel like that's a common thing when people start working out. They can't see it in the mirror because they look at themselves in the mirror multiple times a day. Alicia always says that. She's like, I haven't lost any weight. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You go to the gym 5 days a week.
Yeah, okay, yes,
Like,
I'm with you on that.
I'm like, I see it on you all the time, but she doesn't see it. With my thing, like I've been working out more. I haven't been drinking, which I don't drink that much anyway to begin with.
My day I start after that's one of my alarms. My alarm goes off and it says, go stand in the mirror naked and hate yourself for 15 minutes.
That's a classic start to the day. I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Okay, stop crying. Dry your tears, alarm. Time to go to work.
But I'm working out a lot more, like 3 or 4 times a week, which is a huge increase of 3 or 4 times a week from previously.
From zero.
Yeah. So, and I haven't been drinking, like I said. I haven't had any fast food. But my diet is something that still could definitely get in check. Like, even though I've cut out like any fast food and stuff, I wouldn't say I'm like eating healthy. The only health thing I've been doing is, Becky, shout out Becky. She gave Alicia these like athletic greens. Like she bought that kit. I've seen it on Instagram a million times. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like powder and it's like vegetable powder. And she didn't like it, so she gave it to Alicia, and I took a taste of it, and I was like, I can see why she didn't like it. This tastes like it's made out of spinach assholes. Like the ass of the spinach
worst
plant.
part of the spinach. The healthiest part, though.
And so I've been drinking that every morning, and like...
So you're doing a lot. That's what I'm hearing. You're doing tons.
I feel like I've lost some fat, but the problem is we set these weight goals, and I've been lifting weights and stuff, and I've actually gained weight since we started. I've gained about 4 pounds.
Well, it's a fitness challenge. We chose weight as the metric.
Which is not a good metric, honestly, if you are actually working out and lifting weights and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're eating, enough calories, you're not eating in a deficit.
What this already sounds like is
Excuses?
us making excuses
Yeah.
for not doing it.
I'm fully aware that's how it sounds in it, and that is what it is. But I have not actually lost any weight. I feel like I've lost some fat. Like I noticed some of my pants are fitting better. I got one belt loop a little tighter.
Okay.
That's when you're like, whoa, like this really well-worn belt hole, like, it's a little loose. I think I can go this next one that's never been used.
Yeah, that's the stuff you don't see. Like you're in your 15-minute self-hate routine in the morning, and then you're like, I'm not losing any weight, whatever. And then you put on that shirt, you put on your Mud Dogs Bobby Boucher to celebrate the Super Bowl, and it fits a little loose.
Yeah, you're looking good. I feel like I can see it on you.
I'm losing weight. I'm losing weight quickly. A bit of a big reveal. I don't know if I told you this. So like flash back to our episode where we established the fitness challenge, and we were talking about what are we clocking in at. And I'm not shy, but in the episode I said, I think I'm high 240s, like 240s and change. And I think I set my goal at sub 220.
Yeah.
There's my 30-pound goal for the challenge. Reasonable, super reasonable. I got home that night and I was like, well, I guess I better actually get on the scale.
Yeah.
and kind of see how much work I have to do. I was 260. I was like, way
You
fatter.
you overestimated by like 20 pounds.
I was blown away because we were talking in that episode. You know, it was like the fattest I ever was in university, and I was tipping the scales at a big 250, and then went home that night, and I was like, oh, that actually, I was in better shape then. I had less alarms on my phone then. So January was peak fatness, peak unhealthiness.
Yeah.
So I am losing weight, and I think I'm down 13 or 14 pounds.
Holy shit.
But now I'm in the range of weight that I said I was starting at. So it will be really impressive if I can still do the sub 220. But yeah, it turns out, and you might have guessed this, listeners. I'm a way fatter piece of shit than I initially thought. So, but it's going well.
You wear it well. I would never have guessed you were even when you told me 240, I was like, I also underestimated mine. I think I said I was 230. Mm-hmm. I didn't underestimate to the same degree. I was 234 when I hopped on the scale that night or the next morning. And now I'm up to 238.
But again, we're talking about you gain some muscle, doing things the right way.
Been lifting weights, yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a dense cat, man. I'm antimatter. I've always been heavy, and the way that I carry my weight, like when I get fat, like I guess it's a benefit, but I grow exponentially. Like everything gets fatter at the same pace, so I do carry it well. Yeah,
that's my thing. Is like it all ends up in like my neck and my belly.
Okay,
which is like not a good look, you know. I'm like, I'm really like, yeah, I need to get on. If I want to hit my goal, I'm almost like I feel like I need that Ozempic.
No, we said steroids. We didn't, or no, we actually said we could. I
said I was going to cycle steroids and Ozempic.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good.
And my brother's like, don't do steroids. He's like dead serious. He's like, I don't know if you've seen him lately. He's Mr. Fitness. Like he goes to the gym like twice a day now.
I got one of those brothers too. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, I know. They make us look bad because we're from the same gene pool, but you wouldn't know it looking at us.
My brother and I look like a before and after photo. It's fucking crazy. I probably could have just posted a pic of him in April, and everyone's like, "Wow,
you did really good."
Yeah. No, I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna meet the goal. I also find it hilarious that we've established the combine, but we didn't go and do the combine.
Yeah, we have no starting metric.
So we gotta flesh that idea out a little bit more. But no, I think I'm gonna need 1 month where I'm very seriously doing it, because I'm in the same boat where I'm exercising, I'm not drinking, and not drinking like I can drink. It's been it's been good for the old dog here, but
well, you didn't drink it all in January. You've kind of gotten a little bit back because you had some at golf the other night.
That's my thing is when I start doing good, and this is psychological, when I start eating well, not drinking, exercising, for me it feels like I'm building up credits.
You feel like you got some leash.
I've given myself permission.
Yeah.
So it's almost it's a dangerous line to walk as someone trying to get it on track, because you're like, well, I mean, I rode the bike like 5 times this week.
Yeah,
I had some salad. You know, I'm gonna have to blow the doors off to keep my sanity.
Yeah, I feel like this is very relatable to a lot of people, because I feel that too all the time.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, I had a really good week, and if you're working out, your body is craving more energy, it's craving more calories. So you're like, yeah, I'll go to Firehouse Subs.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Oh yeah, get me an XL sub. Yeah,
I just won't go to Tim Hortons.
I did go to Tim Hortons.
I did eat Tim Hortons. I did. We're such.
I went to Tim Hortons. If you listen to the clip show, I don't want to like rehash the clip show so much, but there was a lot of fart noises.
Mm-hmm. Those were all natural.
Those were all natural, recorded by me. I got 5 cups of chili at Tim Hortons, and I just settled in for a spicy recording session.
You actually just slept with the mic next to your butt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you just hit record and turned over. You were talking about being able to sleep till noon. My biological systems would not. If I could trick my brain into staying asleep, and obviously I didn't have kids and like all these other reasons, or these nine alarms set. If I stayed in bed till noon sleeping, I would wake up covered in my own shit.
Like, you're not fully potty trained, is what you're saying?
Oh yeah, I couldn't do it. There'd be no way. There'd be no way. It would just be, you'd be rolled in it like a mat. Oh yeah, it'd be caked on me.
I'm an expert sleeper. Like I feel like if sleeping was an Olympic sport, I would be the Canadian representative. I'd be walking next to like, I was gonna say Jamie Soleil, but I think she's like retired from figure skating and into like Q conspiracy theories. But
Yeah.
Doesn't
matter.
I'd be walking right next to her carrying the flag if sleeping was Olympic sport, because I can sleep anywhere. Like one of my favorite stories is when I lived in Medicine Hat. I was going down to Arizona, solo trip without Alicia and Kennedy at the time. My flight left Medicine Hat to go to Calgary at like 4 a.m. And that's a super quick flight. It's like up and down 45 minutes. And so I sat on this plane. It was like minus 30 that day, and they just pulled the plane out of the hangar. Like it was like getting in your car, cold start, right? Sat beside this.
They got like a brush. They're like banging. They're scraping the plane windows.
Medicine Hat Airport, if you've ever been through there, is not very big. It was like the pilot checks you in and then like goes and pulls out the plane.
I wouldn't have thought
like
even
loads
Medicine
of
Hat
bags.
had an airport.
It's very small.
Yeah.
And so I got on the plane, sat next to this girl, and immediately, like before the plane even took off, the plane's so small that like they don't even have like an announcement system. They just like yell.
just turn their head from the cockpit.
Hey, if we go down, like here's the exit. It's the same one you came in. There's one fucking door. Anyway, so I immediately fell asleep. Like before we're like taxiing or anything, I'm asleep. Wake up. I've probably been snoring really loudly the whole time. And then the whole plane could hear me. Got there and I had an 11-hour layover. Or not quite that long. It was like a 9-hour layover. But we landed in Calgary at like 5:30 a.m. And so I'm at the Calgary airport. I'm like, I'm going to go find a nice spot to have a little snooze. So I went, and there was like this empty area. They're still building the new international terminal. And there's this empty area, and they'd finished the gate, but that area wasn't yet open. Like you could tell that they hadn't finished everything, but the carpet was down, the furniture was all there. So I laid down on a bench using my backpack as a pillow and fell asleep. 4 hours later, I wake up, and like now all the construction workers are like at work. And like I wake up and I'm like, oh, and they're just like working away, like power tools and everything. And these guys like all started laughing. They're like, we were wondering when you were gonna fucking wake up. Like we've been working here for 2 hours, like fucking saws going, drills, everything. And they're like 20 feet from my head, and they got like equipment. They got the forklift going back and forth with supplies.
They put you on the forks to move you at one point.
That's the only way you could move me at that size.
The fitness challenge. We got to move this homeless guy.
And so and then I got on the plane to Arizona and fell asleep again. And like I'm an expert sleeper. I can sleep anywhere, any amount of time.
I think I've experienced that a bit from you. We almost missed our flight coming home from Vegas the one time because
I was polluted though. Like
you were indisposed, but you were sleeping. There's also I wasn't there, but you laughed so hard you fell asleep driving.
Oh yeah.
You veered across 3 lanes of traffic. Like I've heard some tales about your sleeping.
That was also different. That was like a Vegas nerve response that almost ended our entire friend group.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway, welcome back.
Hey, do you feel like you're sleeping better with the fitness? Like, are there aspects of your life that are improving?
Yeah, I would say my energy levels throughout the day, especially if I hit the gym in the morning.
Yeah.
Before I go to work, I feel like I'm a lot more focused and productive at work throughout the day. I'm less easily distracted by things, which like I am easily distracted. Like if my phone goes off, I'm like,
less
oh,
ADHD.
Yeah, totally. I'm like, yeah, let me check this message, and then let me get into like 700 other tasks that are unrelated to my work day, and then. Yeah, so I do find that I have more energy. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's one of those things where you start living a little bit better and like almost every area of your life improves and you're like, oh,
This is crazy that like treating your body as like an asset is beneficial.
Yeah, but again, I'm just keeping score. Like whatever I'm doing now, it's just the crest of the wave. Like if I hit 420 and I am yoked, right? I'm Clint plus Joe divided by Jason Statham. That is just that's going to be like the green light for me to be like, all right, how quick can I wreck this?
I'm entering a pizza eating contest.
I mean, like we're rolling into the summer. Like I'm cracking my knuckies, be like, let's get back at her.
One thing I will say, rolling into summer, and we talked about it when we first set up the fitness challenge was how we were hoping like we'd be a little better at golf. And I found some workouts that are like very golf specific.
Okay.
Like focusing on your form, building up like some of your core muscles. And I will say, when in the indoor golf league, when we've been playing, I've been playing really good.
Yeah.
And I feel like part of it is I actually have like the core muscle stability to control my body when I'm swinging and stuff. Because I've played some like unreal round, and I know it's sim golf and it doesn't always translate to outdoor, but like we played sim golf all last winter, and I was like, my best round was like high 70s.
You were scratched last round.
I shot even 18. Par. Yeah, I was 1 under till the end. I was 3 under the previous round until like the last few holes. Yeah, like I've been playing good. So I feel like I'm seeing it in some areas. Yeah.
I think I feel the same way with my irons. Like I'm getting some more trunk rotation, and I have like less to get around. You know, I don't have this fucking blow up swan or like a big inner tube that I have to kind of get my club around. Not helping my drive. My drive is I have no idea what's happening, and that's an absolute disaster.
I don't think that's a fitness issue. That's just a skill issue.
Yeah, fitness dick in my mouth every time I try to swing that motherfucker. It's absolutely brutal. I can't get over it. I definitely don't get worked up at golf. I think I have in the past, like a previous iteration prior to us playing again as much as we do. A couple years ago, I was trying to get into it. I had a couple rounds, and then like had that experience that everyone has, where maybe you start the year out and you're like golfing well, and then you just have a blow up round.
Yeah, there's like a regression. It's not linear.
Oh, I remember at that point, I was like, I am quitting golf. And I did not I think like to the point where I just drove the last 3 holes. Like I'm not playing. So this time around, I was like, I'm never going to get worked up. But once you start getting better at golf, once you actually see improvement, there's so many, we talked about this. We like when you're an older individual and you're not playing organized team sports, it's hard to have that authentic experience where you are engaged in doing something that you like and you see improvement and you're motivated intrinsically to just go and continue to get better. You know, it's a good space to be in. And so golf is that right now. But then the other side of that is when you play poorly, like you shouldn't be, or you know you can do better. It's super frustrating.
It's insanely frustrating.
And I try not to do that, but bring it back to my drive. Like I may as well, and do almost essentially, I should just drop and take my third shot from the fairway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I remember when I was starting to get good at golf, I couldn't hit my driver very well. Like I'd just blast it off into the trees. And I just started playing with like a hybrid off the tee, and my score went down. But I was also like playing my second shot from like 100 yards back of all my friends. And I was like, oh, okay, I need to actually figure this out. It does take time. That's the hardest club to hit. But enough golf talk.
Whatever. Hopefully Mom Meg gives... let's move on from golf. I was like, hopefully for Valentine's Day, I'm getting a new set of clubs.
That would be... Is that what you're hoping for? Do you guys do like Valentine's Day celebrations?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to put my wife on blast. She's terrible at Valentine's Day. Like, I don't know if it was just something that they never celebrated. And it's not a real holiday. It's not an actual thing. It's like peak consumerism. It's bullshit when you're a kid. It's bullshit when you're an adult. There's very few times Valentine's actually is like worth anyone's time. I like it. You know, people say, oh, I don't need a special day to celebrate my significant other. I think it's awesome. Like a day to just, hey, we're going to have like some nice drinks, some nice food. I'm going to buy some sexy chocolate. We're going to like hang out.
Can we rewind?
Type things.
Can we rewind?
I love it. My wife fucking doesn't. If it wasn't explicitly marked on the calendar and I didn't like tell her, yeah, it wouldn't exist.
What's sexy chocolate? Like, are you buying like dick-shaped chocolates?
Oh yeah, it's like a bachelorette theme. We were drinking out of Dickie straws. I was
like, what's a sexy chocolate?
No. I get like the good penis straws. Like some people buy like those cheap ones, like Spencer Gift penis straws. I'm getting like high. It's actually ocean plastic.
It's reused. Oh, Trudeau would love that.
Yeah, I actually get the ocean plastic dick straws. No, sexy chocolate. Sexy chocolate is what I wanted to say when I realized that on air I was about to like, this is how we have sex. No, I wasn't going to do that. I wanted to like dial it back. I wanted to be like, yeah, Valentine's is a cool time that I enjoy, and I try to go through the motions with it. I don't actually buy dick chocolates.
In our house, Kennedy loves all these fake holidays, like Valentine's Day. she's like, we got to decorate. We need decorations.
Decorate the house.
Yeah.
Get out the Valentine's Day tree.
Exactly. Same with like Halloween, which I think a lot more people celebrate, but Kennedy loves Halloween. St. Patrick's Day. Kennedy's like, yeah, we got to put out like a trap for the leprechaun. And I'm like, what? Like, where's this coming from? And Alicia hates Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And I think it does come. I don't think, I know it comes from her extensive history of working in the restaurant industry.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, she's like, I fucking hate that day.
I remember working at BP's and you'd have to
the heart-shaped pizzas.
Yeah. And they're a pain in the ass on the kitchen side of things. They're a pain in the ass for fucking servers. Like they're terrible. It's the worst day of the year, and you sell 1 billion of them.
Oh yeah, you do so many of those heart-shaped pizzas, and it's just nonstop all day. Everybody's ordering them. But yeah, so she's like not a fan of Valentine's Day just because of like the stress that it's put on her life previously.
Yeah.
And she's never been able to celebrate, because if you work in a restaurant on Valentine's Day, it's like very much like you can't take this day off.
One of the busiest days, yeah.
It's like me, if I want to take off the last day of RSP season, my boss would be like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Like I say, I have a flexible schedule. If I asked for the last day of RSP season off, they'd be like, no, you better be in the hospital, like having an amputation. Like,
and even then
you better have your laptop right next to you on that hospital bed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not getting celebrated at the Dunford house except for the kids.
And then like I'll usually buy something small, and Alicia will do something small, but it's not like, oh, like let's book a nice dinner and like get a movie or something. It's very much like Alicia does it if only to like appease society. Yeah.
So I like it because we're so busy with kids. Honestly, we have so much fucking shit going on, and self-inflicted, self-imposed. We do that to ourselves. We got the podcast. We have jobs. We have kids. We have wives. We golf. I've got the fishing company. You've got a bunch of things on the go.
Yeah. If anybody's listening, watch for me on Whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm going to be streaming some Pokemon card rips and sales.
Exactly. Like we wear many hats. So, I like the idea of having like a dedicated, this is a day and we're going to try and just like do something together. And with the kids too, I don't know, for Marin, it's just, it's another occasion to like get candy. That's what all these are.
Yeah.
It's just
effectively.
Yeah. And then they'll go to school and you'll have to go get like your do you remember that? You buy packs of Valentines.
Kennedy was working on those right now before you came over. She was putting her name on them.
Yeah, and you go put them in little pouches. I choose you, Ralph Wiggum.
That's
do you remember doing that? Like definitely.
Yeah, and then like explicitly they would be like, you have to bring one for every kid in the class.
Yeah, you couldn't even choose.
And like when you're like Kennedy's age in kindergarten, you're like, oh, it's fine. Like all my friends are my friends.
Yeah.
But like when you're in like grade 4, it's like you got to bring them for the boys. You're like, gay. Like.
Yeah. Well, I think it falls off hard like grade 4 or 5, and then you're trying to get like a Valentine's for like someone else.
There's a special girl in your class, and you're like, okay.
Oh, the amount of times I bought shit, every year, a different lady, a different significant other that didn't like me. Like that, like
unrequited love. This is a hard episode.
No, right? I could actually like name drop. I won't. That's a little stalkerish, but definitely I have like a storied history. It's funny. I like Valentine's Day because pretty much, yeah, you fall off the getting your like friends Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles Valentines. Like we're done with that. And then it's like, but I'm going to get so-and-so something special. You have to ask your mom or dad, like, can I have some money? What's it for? Like, I want to get like a present for so-and-so. And yeah, years of buying like roses, legit coming to OJ with roses or giant, extravagant, big boxes of chocolate and like hardly getting a thanks. Then being like, yeah, well, I still don't like you. Like you said.
That's a villain origin story for some people.
Totally. Fuck, junior high, like before I became a version of myself that I was like, I don't want to say confident. I don't think anyone's even confident even in high school. But you kind of like, you're always, as a young person, emulating what your friends are doing. And then you slowly become like, oh, I like this because I like this. And you like, there is a point where people transition into who they are. But prior to that, you're still engaged in Valentine's Day. And I'm wearing orange cargo pants. Do you remember the orange guy in front of my hair dyed blonde?
I do remember the
dip.
the little dip.
Yeah, the vanilla dip, orange cargo pants, and I'm just showing up with like mad gifts. And they're like, yeah, cool. Go talk about Dragon Ball Z in the corner with your mutant friends. Sick that you spent all this money. Yeah. No, Valentine's Day as like a junior high school is kind of a throwaway, but I think also an important experience. You have to kind of grow through it.
Not to name drop, but I do have one like poor Valentine's Day experience.
Lay it on me.
And it was I think it was in high school. I want to say it was grade 10. And I bought this girl something. She was in my class, and I was like, she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen to this point.
Nice.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, this is my girl, right? Like,
here's a token. This is how I feel.
My hormones are flowing. I don't know how to deal with them right now.
I'm going to burst out of these women's jeans.
Yeah. And I got her something, and like 2 seconds after I gave it to her is when I found out that she had a boyfriend in like another school across town. And I was like, oh.
Did you ask for it back?
No, that would have been a baller move though. Give that shit back.
Yeah.
No, but it was like, and it wasn't even that I was like heartbroken. It was just that I was like so incredibly embarrassed to have like trampled on this guy's turf for like a moment in time.
What? Oh no, yeah, no. Me and my dudes would all like the same girl. Do you remember that? Like competing. Like I'm getting so and so this. Like I'm getting so and so this. I would, another school? No way.
Yeah.
We're worried about someone else.
She probably made him up, if we're being honest.
That was her. I got thanks. Thanks, Dex. Hey, I actually have a boyfriend across school. He's huge.
Yeah, he's
the captain of the
You wouldn't know him. He lives in Antarctica.
Yeah.
He goes to the Scientology school down there.
Oh, yeah. Man, stay tuned for more info on that. The old GoFundMe. We got to get that school built.
Yeah. To bring in the context to that, because I realized I just dropped an inside joke between the two of us.
This is the inside joke podcast for sure.
But Drew and I have been talking about how we get like a higher end mixing board so we can, because background context, like we're very limited by the setup we've got currently.
Yes.
We can plug in the 2 USB mics, but the software that we use is like 2 mics and that's it. Mm-hmm. Right? And if you want more and you want to have guests on, you need a mixing board that can accommodate more than 2 mics.
Yeah, we have to spend the money, and that is the natural progression. We were having a business chat before this.
Yeah.
And we're like, where is this fucking podcast going? It needs to go somewhere. It needs to go outside of Fat Guy Basement Talk. Your wiener is small, my wiener is small, and we need to expand and bring in not only other people to make our audience be like, well, this is interesting, but also reach new people. So it's something we have to do.
Yeah, but like the cheapest mixing board that you can buy is like $800.
And you and I are super responsible with money and would never.
I've already spent it all on Pokemon cards, so my budget's been blown.
Yeah, there's the joke. Cause like we don't want for anything. We'll just.
But so we were like, how do we get like this money without having to like curb our other like vices? Mm-hmm. And we thought, well, let's start a GoFundMe. But like, I didn't want to start a GoFundMe that was like not honest, but I also didn't want to like just gutlessly like ask for money. And so we were gonna run a GoFundMe to build like a podcasting school for underprivileged kids in Antarctica.
Yeah.
And then your idea was to make it a Scientology school.
Just to reach more people. Scientology's huge down there.
The joke being that like nobody fucking lives in Antarctica. There's like 2 research bases run by Norway. They're like, I don't know, putting trackers on penguins and shit. And like, there's no children that are like underprivileged needing podcast education. But
wasn't that a thing? Like Antarctica is like, that's like the UFO. Like there's a bunch of like spooky.
There's a ton of conspiracy theories. There's a conspiracy theory. I've read that like there's a Nazi base underneath the ice, and like that's where a bunch of the Nazis ran off to after World War II.
No way.
The ones that like didn't get caught and go on the Nuremberg trials.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh yeah, Hitler didn't actually kill himself. He's living under the ice in Antarctica. I was like, I would have rather killed myself. Honestly.
He's been pretty quiet then. Yeah. It's been a while. I wonder what he's up to.
He's just cold all the time.
Yeah. He's just making Valentines for his Nazi friends there. Hey. Yeah.
My dearest Gehring. Remember all those times we shared in Poland?
I still don't know. I don't know how he asked for money in a GoFundMe for a Scientology school in Antarctica, and it gives us a soundboard. Like I don't like that's in the fine print.
The fine print would have to say like we are acquiring the materials needed to effectively administer this education.
Oh, just hopefully no one reads the business plan and we post it. And if you actually go through, it's like, by the way, the way we're doing this is sinking all this money into our podcast to reach new heights. And then hopefully we become successful enough that this is something we could possibly do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for our totally
legitimate,
poorly advertised, false advertising GoFundMe.
Yeah, man. So okay, I gotta bring it back to Valentine's. Are you going to do anything? Are you and the missus doing anything for Valentine's Day?
I'm sure. Like, I'll probably cook dinner.
Okay.
Cook a nice dinner. Cook something that she wants to eat. I'll eat anything.
I'll get McDonald's.
Yeah. So I'll probably make a nice dinner. I'm sure we'll hang out that evening after the kids are in bed and watch a movie. But she's very much like, let's not plan anything.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going out to the keg.
I'll do something nice, and then I'll wait all day for like.
And then she clearly like ran to the gas station.
No, she'll just go to bed.
Oh, okay.
I have to work. Kids are a lot.
She's like, I got you a new cable for your block heater.
Yeah, I'll get for Valentine's Day. I'm gonna watch 3 hours of StarCraft.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's actually not bad.
Can I do Valentine's Day with you?
Why don't we do Valentine's Day together?
Yeah.
You could be my new. I choose you, man. Dude, there's a new angle. That's good because I like the expectation. I'll still be just as disappointed unless you want to put out.
I do.
So that'll be nice, and then we can just do what we want. And just hey, yeah, know what, man? You and me, you're my fucking Valentine.
You're my Valentine.
Oh, I love it. We solved that.
There we go. There's a happy ending to this episode.
Yeah. Well, man, episode's just getting going. It's Super Bowl Sunday.
It is Super Bowl Sunday.
And the world's two premier Valentine's Day, what we'll call it. I don't want to say participants. It's just a love story. Just the Travis Kelce, the Taylor Swift.
Yeah, they are the power couple of the world right now.
This is kind of their Valentine's Day.
She's on a flight right now because she performed last night in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And then she immediately hopped on her private jet. And
these are the bets that are going on now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, does Taylor make it? Is she gonna parachute from a blimp to like make it for the for kickoff?
Yeah, I saw a big one. There was, I can't remember what sports book was doing it, but they offered like a lot of them will offer joke bets for the Super Bowl or like weird things like how long is the national anthem going to take and stuff like that.
That one's big. Reba, is she gonna
go over? Yeah. And I've seen people researching. They're like, well, I pulled up the 12 times that Reba McEntire sang Star Spangled Banner live at sporting events, and she's gone over 9 out of 12 times. Like people will get into it.
All between 90 and 120 seconds.
Yeah. And so, but the sportsbook put up a bet. Will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift on the field after the game? And they were like, haha, what a silly joke bet. And they set the odds at like minus 250 for a no, which like pretty obviously he's probably not going to do that.
Oh, what a piece of shit. Seriously.
If he did that.
There's no way. There's no fucking way he does that. Like, hey boys, this is our third one. Like, I love you all. This is great that we accomplished this. Now, like, everyone pay attention to me.
Yeah, I'm going to make it all about me.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to do that. But they set the odds at minus 250, which is like pretty fucking good odds for something that's like almost guaranteed not to happen. And so dudes were throwing down like 50 grand, like their mortgage payment or their entire mortgage.
Like on a no?
On no. Because it's only minus 250. So it's like,
what does that mean? I love I love gambling, but I don't do a lot of sports betting because for me it's throwing away money. I don't have the requisite knowledge about sports that are good to gamble on. Like I could bet on hockey, but betting on hockey fucking sucks.
Betting on hockey is hard because hockey is very there's a lot of parity in the league. So like any given day, I mean, you've seen it with the Oilers. They went on a 16-game run and now they're on a little bit of a skid, right? Like 2 games, right?
Yeah, sell the franchise. No,
but I'm just saying like you could be like the Oilers are beating everybody and anybody, and then all of a sudden any team in the league, any given night could come out and beat them.
Well, they got fucking pumped last night by Vegas. By the Kings.
By the Kings, and the Kings were going in a bad spot, right?
Yeah.
So like everything is telling you throw money on the Oilers. But any given night, you got two guys that don't show up. The other team show. Anyway, hockey betting is very hard, but I digress. Minus 250 means that like, so plus 100 would basically be like doubling your money.
Okay.
Right. So if you put on 50 grand, you're doubling to 100 grand is what you're taking away at the end.
Okay.
Minus 250. So you're getting like less than 50-50 odds, but you can still make money, right? So these guys were throwing down like 50 grand to get 75 back, right? Which for like almost a guaranteed bet is like insanely good.
Yeah.
And so people were like just smashing this line. And then the sportsbook was like, oh no, like our super funny joke has like blown up in our faces. We're like scheduled to be paying out like $300,000 to these bettors.
So what's the move? Can they change the odds?
The odds will update live. So, but the people that got in,
they locked in at the
you locked in those odds. But future odds, they changed it to like minus 3,500. So now it's like not really, because on the off chance that he does, you're like risking 50 grand to make $1,000.
I say there's no way he does. That's my Super Bowl bet.
I don't think he would either.
What is going to happen? Do you hear our kids upstairs?
Yeah, it sounds like they got out the little car, which is a classic move while we're podcasting.
Yeah. Yeah, I did actually.
And that car goes completely unused until your kids come over, and then Kennedy's like, let's break out the car. You guys are right below us.
We got to make as much noise as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dexy's Bets. Play that Dexy's Bets jingle you've been working on.
No, we need to get this out before Valentine's Day.
Okay.
No extra edits.
Well, you got to do that. You got to do that. You and I are being Valentine's bros edit. That jingle's a hit. The Drew and Dex super sexy Valentine's Day jingle.
But to go back to
I guarantee I'm calling it right now. You want to make a bet? I bet Dex has a great jingle for us this episode.
We'll see. Two lovers come together as one. Hairy bodies connecting under the sheets to make soup. Happy Valentine's Day from the most romantic podcast in the world, the Rad Dad Redemption Podcast.
Giving orgasms like never before.
But to go back to buying the mixing board.
Yeah.
I did throw a bet down. It's our mixing board bet.
Okay. Oh, this on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right.
So I threw $50 down. And yes, I could have allocated that $50 towards savings toward the mixing board.
Ridiculous.
But you're not going to get there fast enough.
No.
Right?
No, we need money now.
So I put the $50 on a parlay. Here's my parlay.
I'm ready.
It pays out $850 if we win.
Oh, that's a soundboard.
That's a soundboard.
Okay.
So it's KC plus 3.5. So they don't even have to win the game. They just can't lose by more than 3.5 points. So they got to keep it within a field goal or win outright, whatever. Over 46.5. So combined total points for the game has to be more than 46.5.
Okay. 3-point spread. Total is more than 46 scored between both teams.
I got Travis Kelce to catch a touchdown.
Tight end city. Yep.
I got Deebo Samuel to catch a touchdown.
Okay. Deebo.
I got Travis Kelce to catch 6 or more passes.
This is a 5-bet parlay.
I got one more.
Oh.
And Christian McCaffrey over 100 total yards, so catching and receiving.
Okay.
So I got those 6, which I feel like individually they're all very reasonable, but the problem with parlays is one of those things doesn't hit, and then you lose your $50, and now we're actually $50 further away from a soundboard.
I'm into that. That's proxy though. I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl now.
You're gonna be like, okay, how's the soundboard bet going?
Yeah, I'm gonna live vicariously through you.
Yeah. So, that's my Super Bowl prediction. I think.
So
I think
win.
The Chiefs are gonna win.
Yeah.
But even in this bet, they don't necessarily have to win. But I do think they're gonna win.
I know nothing about either team. I watch SportsCenter, and I've been picking up like little bits and pieces. I understand that the game against the Lions, San Fran wasn't looking too hot.
No,
there's maybe a coaching error that led to
several coaching errors.
A bit of a gift there. So are they coming? But maybe are they coming in like, wow, everyone thinks we can't, and we're fucking gonna.
Well, and they're one of those teams. They're so stacked on offense.
Is San Fran a good team? Like
they're in the fucking Super Bowl. A lot of people were saying they're preseason Super Bowl pick. Right?
Okay.
So they've definitely lived up to expectations. They're stacked on offense. They got a great defense. I think Kansas City has the defensive advantage. Mm-hmm. They've been playing super good this year. And then Mahomes is just like, he's the new Tom Brady. And
they've been there before.
They've already done it twice, right? So are you gonna bet against Mahomes?
This
that's
consummate
like
professional who's won Super Bowls.
that's like betting against Tom Brady in his prime when New England was winning all those championships. It's like you don't want to put money against him, even if you think that they're the underdog, which they aren't. It's going to be a close game though.
Okay. Does Usher roller skate in the halftime show?
Man, what a terrible halftime show. Can we talk about that? That's the best they could do in 2024 was fucking Usher.
Oh, you don't like Usher?
I don't hate Usher. I don't dislike him, but it's like that's the best we can do. Like, think about arguably the greatest halftime show of all time was Prince.
Not arguably, the greatest halftime show of all time was Prince.
Okay. Yeah. I would say arguably, just because I'm trying to rack my brain for other really good ones. But yeah, I mean, most people, if you ask them, Prince is the best halftime show of all time.
There's so much lore around that performance too. How, was such a particular individual and had, his quirks about him. I actually just watched a show on Netflix called The Greatest Night in Pop, and it's about the recording of the Save the Children. We are the world.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
I haven't watched the documentary, but I'm aware of the fun.
It's fantastic. It's fucking crazy, and it's crazy the amount of people they pulled in. But like, they wanted Prince. The only way they were going to get these people in the same space to actually record this song was if they did it after the American Music Awards, and so that was like, you should watch it. It's great. But Prince is there. Prince is like cleaning up at the AMAs, and they're like, we're gonna go record the song. You want to be a part of it? Like, Michael Jackson's gonna fucking be there. Bob Seger's gonna be there. Not Bob Seger. Bob Dylan's there. Bruce Springsteen is who I'm thinking of. Anyway, Prince is like, fucking no, I'm not gonna do it. He phones in at 4 a.m. He's like, I'll show up and play guitar solo if I have a private room and it's all filled with brown M&Ms and there's like three midgets wrestling. If you can't get him, call Stephen Hawking. He's got
a whole stable of them.
Yeah. So, but the Super Bowl performance, it's like raining and they're worried like, oh no, he's not going to want to go out there and do this, get soaked. And he's just, they're asking him, what can we do to make this work for you? And he's like, make it rain fucking harder. That's what he said. Yeah, you can look that up right now. Like, how do you want to mitigate this? And he's like, just can you get it to rain more? And he goes out and does Purple Rain. Fuck, man, he shreds. It's the greatest guitar performance live ever. It's so fucking good. I'm hyped up thinking about it. I might go from this recording and just watch that performance. That's how good that halftime show was. So Usher, I don't know. Yeah, he's coming out on rollerblades, roller skates.
Apparently, there's like again, to go back to the prop bets, there's a bet that if Justin Bieber will join him, because he discovered Justin Bieber years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a connection there. But like, I don't know, to go from like last year's halftime show, which was super good.
Yeah.
Right? You had Dr. Dre, you had 50 Cent, you had Kendrick Lamar, Eminem was there, right? Like, you had basically the kings of hip hop doing this insane show. And then now you're like, yeah, we got Usher.
I'd rather the kings of
peaked in
comedy.
like 2004.
Like, bring out Cedric the Entertainer, bring out Steve Harvey, and run a couple bits.
Just like Night at the Apollo redo.
Yeah, Cat Williams.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that'd be cool if Biebs came out. There's too much Biebs at the NHL All-Star Game. Obviously, different scales. Very different scales.
Like that was actually a huge get for the NHL.
Yeah, they were stoked on it. I think Usher, for me, if Chris Brown comes and they Rick Ross and they work in New Flame, like, okay, that would be, I don't know what the prop bet is on that, but that would just be
huge
great.
odds.
That would just be great for humanity.
I feel like Chris Brown it's crazy he still has a career after all the shit that he's done, like whooping the shit out of
allegedly. Yeah, no, he's not a very
he
good
did
guy.
That shit.
Yeah, he's not a great dude.
Well, and
man, can he sing?
He can sing and he can dance, but which, all sins are forgiven. All sins are forgiven if you can sing and dance.
He's a triple threat. He can sing, he can dance, and he can sing. And he's an absolute animal, man. That tune, Usher, much like the clip show with the back-to-back farts. Usher says "baby" 4 times in a row. He does a baby, 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 baby. It's just like, it's incredible songwriting. Lyrically, it's a gift, and the way he hits it, yeah, I'm getting pretty excited.
It's like all the times that like Lil Wayne has rhymed pussy with pussy.
Is that? I hope Lil Wayne comes out. I don't know.
He's a Packers fan. I don't think he'll be there for that one. But
yeah, shout out Pack. Yeah.
No, it'll be interesting to see at the halftime show, but I think it's going to be underwhelming.
Yes.
I'm prepared to be surprised, but don't think I will be.
We went to the Grey Cup a couple years ago when it was in Calgary, and it was Keith Urban.
Which is a big get for the Grey Cup.
Super big get. I fucking hate Keith Urban.
Well, but like
fuck that
star
guy.
power for the Grey Cup.
Oh man, such a shit musician with shit music. So I was already like, who gives a fuck, right? I'm already like not into it, but hey, yeah, they're getting Keith Urban. It'll be a halftime show. But I guess, I don't know if it was a restriction because of the venue or like with their stage. Basically what they decided to do was, and you would never know this watching it on TV live, but at the actual Grey Cup at McMahon, the stage only faced one way. So Keith Urban, who I already didn't want to see or listen to, rocked it to 50% of the crowd. And the rest of the crowd just got like literally the back of the stacks. like guitar techs running around, like the guy running the lights, just nothing. You just saw nothing for the whole halftime show. Rona's halftime show. Like who fucking Spalumbo's fucking suck my ass halftime show with Keith Urban. He's gonna rock. You know, and you're like, this is fucking back of the stage. It's awful.
That is very like classic Canadian version of like Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, they just there's no way. The logistics is impossible. How could you perform to the whole crowd?
Well, like the NFL, like this halftime show, it's actually a whole marketing thing. Like Usher does not get paid for this. The artist actually pays for their performance at the halftime show because it's considered promotion and marketing. So I'm like, does Usher have an album coming out or something, right? But the artist will pay for it and they'll put in like...
It's not a paid gig? That actually kind of floors me.
No, it's all promotion. So often you'll see like if an artist is doing this, they've got an album coming out or they've got some type of big thing going on, and like this is just a part of their marketing budget for that larger thing, right? And so they will pump a ton of money into it because they don't want to look like idiots, right? So you know, I think I remember like Rihanna a few years ago spent like friggin' $45 million on her performance or something. Like it was insane.
Yeah, it looked like a Super Smash Bros. Stage.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
And I can just see like CFL being like, all right, our budget for this, like first of all, Keith Urban's not paying his own way to play at the CFL. So they were like, our budget for this is $20,000. do with that what you will, Keith Urban. Like, yeah. So I that was to be expected probably with the money they had available.
Man, do you remember the Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson?
Yep.
The halftime show.
Yeah.
And then they were so
That's
worried.
what made me a man. That was like, if I can pick a moment in time where I'm like, before that I was a boy.
That's when you got your nipple ring.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My huge nipple shield.
Your giant, the biggest nipple ring you could possibly buy. They're like, sir, we recommend you start it with a stud. You're like, no.
Put 4 pounds of metal on that thing.
I'm actually looking to get gauged nipples. Like a hardcore show back in the day, like you want like the big black spoonies, hey, and you have to keep stretching your nips bigger. What a fucking
and then you take it out and it's just a giant hole there forever,
dude. Quick aside on that. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
And it's so funny because even then it'd be like, and you're gonna have no regrets. Like you love this scene so much that you're gonna put these fucking loonies in your ear and be like, this is me. I'm 21. What?
This is who I am forever.
This is who I am forever. These Le Chateaus, this garter belt. This is my identity. This is my whole fucking identity. Yeah, so I'm gonna get gauged nips.
Okay.
Yeah, and you already have them, so that's cool.
Have you ever seen, like, one of the things that I think was taken away from the controversy of that, was like Justin Timberlake is probably one of the most incredible performers I've ever seen live.
Yeah, he's a triple threat.
Yeah. Alicia and I went to see him in Edmonton.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He was like one of the first big concerts that they had in the new arena there.
Okay.
And
the 2020 tour?
Yeah.
Oh god.
No, it was before that. It would have been 2020 2019 maybe.
But that was his album, right? Like, it wasn't the 2022 where it was the, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, most insane show I've ever been to. I'm not I wouldn't call myself like a Justin Timberlake
Just
fan.
ripping off people's
Oh yeah, he was
brassieres,
so many boobies,
so many gauge nips everywhere.
But
he doesn't even sing anymore. He's out there like David Copperfield. And they just bring on like a row of people, and he's just ripping off tops.
It was crazy. He was on the stage, way down on the floor, and I won these tickets, so I was in a box suite. And he actually ripped the front of my pants off.
You put your hand out like he's Darth Vader. In the show, he just exposed your gauge nips to everyone around you. And you're like, oh, yeah, so sick.
Yeah, I had to go home with no clothes on.
The response to the Super Bowl controversy, I think I have this right. I could be wrong. Stand be corrected. It was like after that, they're like, we're dialing it back. I think it was Tom Petty the next year. You know, or so it was just like, we're not. So
they played it safe.
Yeah. So now it's we're back in this like superstar era, and they're just like crazy huge shows, rollerblading Usher. Fucking everyone's got gauge nipple piercings. It's gonna be unreal.
Very 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember like the crazy stories that people were like so obviously making up after that. Like it was just like, not only was it inappropriate, which like I think exposing yourself on national television is probably like for like a audience of all ages is like not appropriate, but it was like whatever, like clutch your pearls a little harder.
Yeah.
But people would make up these stories, and there was like this one that was floating around, and it was like, I work at a nursing home, and we had like these patients, and they were all watching the Super Bowl, and when this happened, like one guy who had not walked in 15 years stood up out of his chair and turned off the TV. That's what an affront it was to like his sensibilities. And I was like, no, he fucking didn't. Like, you're treating this as like like Jesus was healing people, and also Janet Jackson's titty like made this man get up and walk again.
I thought you were gonna say he like got up and walked and was just like, oh, like he's fucking cured now. Like that's what it took.
Do you think he like sat back down after that, or do you think he was like, well, I've got a new lease on life?
He hasn't talked in years. Oh yeah, he just puts his shit on, walks out the front door, puts his hat on. Like fuck. Well, that's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
She didn't expose herself. It was Justin. He did his Darth Vader.
I feel like it was so planned. Like they're like, oh yeah, it was a wardrobe malfunction. I was like, well, what was he ripping off though? Like he grabbed her breast, and he was supposed to rip off a panel, and like
even that's kind of a wild move nowadays.
Right?
Like, under what circumstances? Like, and then you finished the big show. Like, ba ba ba. He wasn't singing NSYNC, but I don't.
But what are you supposed to see? You were supposed to see the outside of her bra. Like what was supposed to be the outcome of that? What was
the end game there?
I think tinfoil hat on. I think what happened was what was supposed to happen, and then it blew up in their faces way more than they thought it would. And that's why she wore the huge shield, so you could be like, oh well, it wasn't like a full titty exposure. It was like it was mostly metal. But what was supposed to happen?
That was kind of the dawn, or when you start to become aware of like recreational outrage. You know, like you're saying is such an affront. People were so upset, and I was like, man, the internet exists. You know, like
everybody's always upset now.
Yeah, but I'm like, was this really that scarring, that damaging? We just have like generations of kids growing up, like just like totally their minds are warped because of this. And it's like, no,
probably not.
They were.
But back then, like if you were outraged, you had to write a letter.
Yeah.
Which is like a step to, like if you're outraged now, you can just send like a tweet or like post on your Facebook, and it's like very easy to express your outrage.
Yeah.
Back then you had to like sit down, get out your like you know, your embossed like
which is a better time for humanity, because I bet you a lot of people like got halfway through their letter and they're like, I'm
actually not that mad.
I'm actually not even gonna pay postage on this. Now that I think about it,
this ain't worth the stamp.
That's actually the best Valentine's Day gift I've gotten in years.
Yeah, so like I don't know, but it was funny that you also have to think about American culture in the sense that I find, you know, it tends to trend a little more conservative, right? And so we're sitting here like two young men that grew up in Canada, and we're like, who would be mad about that? And then, but you also have like a whole group of like snake handlers down in Texas that were probably like, this is the second coming of the Antichrist. Like, Here it is. Right? Like, so you know, I think when you've been raised and conditioned that way, you can see that for like something way bigger than what it is. It's like, no, that's a woman's breast.
Man, Marjorie Taylor Greene did not like. That's when she decided to get into politics.
Oh yeah,
Was when it was
flipped a switch in her head.
Yeah, I need to fix this.
It's the space lasers.
Country's going down the crapper. Oh man.
We've had a lot of fun already, I feel like.
Yeah, it's been good.
Hey, do we have any mailbags?
Just one.
All right.
Gonna play that mailbag intro?
Yeah.
Mailbag time, motherfucker.
So this one's actually comes to us anonymously.
Yeah. You never like to hear anonymous. Is it a death threat?
Hi, Rad Dad Redemption Podcast at gmail.com. Erectile dysfunction happens to the best of us. Erections are complicated, and maintaining one is not as simple as force of will. From psychological causes to physical issues such as diabetes, erectile dysfunction is on the rise. What's shocking, though, is that while no one talks about it, as many as 52% of Canadians are affected by ED. Phoenix is here to end the stigma of ED for all Canadians. Erectile dysfunction is treatable, and you don't have to avoid talking about it any longer. Phoenix offers an affordable, accessible, and approved solution to take the awkwardness out of getting treated for erectile dysfunction. Get started today.
So, was our mailbag a marketing email?
Yeah, we didn't get an email. Man, no one's emailing us. We got to get guests on here.
Because when you started reading that, I was like, did we say something about like not being able to get a boner that like horribly offended somebody? Like this is the Janet Jackson's titty of the Rad Dad Redemption podcast.
Or it actually was like a fully penned. It wasn't email. Like
mailed.
I got that in our PO box actually. So yeah, thanks for reaching out.
All right, check out Phoenix.
We'll take that under consideration. We appreciate it.
Okay. Valuable service, though.
Valuable service, man. Okay. So, hard left turn to finish it off. You didn't come to the birthday thing on Saturday, and I'm wearing the Mud Dogs jersey here from Waterboy. That's
Can I just reiterate? I wasn't invited to the birthday thing on Saturday. It's not like I chose not to attend. There's no invitation.
That was the narrative. Hey, where's Dex? Like, I don't know. I guess he just fucking hates Joe.
No, I would have been there in a second. Are you kidding me?
Sorry about that. But it came up. They had Happy Gilmore. It was like playing like in the background, and Ben and I were like, "Oh, it's the best Adam Sandler movie ever made," and it just kind of brought up that question, and I was amazed because there was like everyone. He's made so many fucking movies. Krista picked Wedding Singer.
That's a good one.
Yeah, got tossed around. So I want to hear what's your top Adam Sandler movie all time.
Just off the top of my head, probably the one I quote the most in my day-to-day life would be Billy Madison.
Okay.
I do love Happy Gilmore, but I feel like I've seen it so many times it's like lost some of its magic for me.
Interesting.
And then some of his new ones, like Uncut Gems, love that movie. I wouldn't say it's his best, but it's really hard to pick his best. But if you're going to gun to my head, I'm saying Billy Madison.
Yeah, he's an enigma because he did like Uncut Gems, and then what's one where he's a basketball agent?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of that, but that was a really good one as well.
Yeah, and then he'll like come over the top and be like, Hubie Halloween. You know, like that definitely came up. I think Megan was pretty savage. She was on one. Someone said, I can't remember what movie it was, and Megan was like, oh yeah, and Jack and Jill, one of his fucking best works. Like, just started. It became quite contentious. That's why I wanted to ask you. I wanted to bring it up.
What did you say was your favorite?
For me, it has to be Happy Gilmore. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's one of those movies I watch, and every time, and I'm with you, I've seen it a million times, but every time there's just something like a little nuance, a throwaway line or a throwaway scene that's just like, man, I can't believe they made this fucking movie. It is so awesome. Yeah. And it could be in the background. When he's like when he first meets Chubbs and he's in the fucking batting cage and he's just taking pitches and just like, dude, it's only got 364 till next year's hockey tryouts, and he's just getting ripped. And then like he comes out to chat with Chubbs, but then the kid, the like kid who was like awesome, and he gets in the fucking batting cage, and it's just like in the background, it's just him getting hit with a ball. And he's like, ah, it's like a big Wilhelm scream or whatever. I fucking die. Or man, all like bits at the beginning of the movie. When he's like yelling at his girlfriend through the intercom, like fine, and the like old Asian grandma comes up and they play like to the night glows easy,
and he's just like, I'm so sorry I said all of that. Like, I love you so much. Why don't you come up here? I want to kiss you. So that's funny. That's the bit. That's the joke. It's at the end of that when he has to rush over to Mima's house because their stuff's getting taken, and he's throws on his boots and runs out the door. It's that lady coming around the corner like, you know what, breakfast? Like it's that those subtleties. It's one of the most perfect films ever made. Kennedy could probably quote the Billy Madison like when he's in the bathtub scene. Yeah. Because I always do that whenever I'm bathing her. I'll just be like, shampoo is better. I go on first and cleans the hair. No, conditioner is better. And then like the bottles fight and then stop looking at me, Schwan. Oh, when he shows up, oh fuck. So Billy Madison is right there, same thing. You know, like Norm Macdonald when they're playing they're like leaving a flaming bag of shit on Buddy. What's his name? I want to say Old Man Withers. Yeah. It's like Old Man Withers is gonna shit when he realizes it's shit. And then he comes out and he's like, it's poop again. And they're like, he called the shit poop. Yeah. So yeah, those are the two. The kindergarten teacher. Yeah. Billy Madison, the Miss Lippy. Yeah. So funny. Just dumping fucking glue on her face. Oh yeah. So like, the janitor when they're like, so what'd you find out? And he's like, Miss Lippy's car is green. Billy likes soda. Oh my god. This is actually the Adam Sandler movie review podcast now. So there's some so it was funny because there's so many great ones, but some of the ones that people were saying, and it was typically younger people. Yeah. Or like, oh yeah, like I mean, okay, some of the girls said Wedding Singer. Yeah, it's good. You know, Wedding Singer's good. There's nothing wrong with Wedding Singer. Yeah, and he's got his crew in that, but it's not one that stands out to me as like peak Sandler humor. But some of the bad ones, some of the ones that people were talking about that were good, and I'm like, no, those movies were horrible. Like Mr. Deeds was horrible. Mr. Deeds has a really good soundtrack though. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Mr. Deeds, like almost unwatchable, like that kind of era of Sandler films. And I put Big Daddy in that category. Yeah, Big Daddy. Okay, I was gonna say that Big Daddy gets a lot of hype for like not being that good. No. Like, what's the funniest scene in Big Daddy? Like them pissing, just like the continued like callback joke of like them pissing on the wall. I think 5-year plan when like the guy his wife or his girlfriend leaves him for like ends up being a grill cook at Hooters. Like it's like. Like it's a big mislead, but it's like it's a bit that runs through the whole entire movie. Yeah, there's aspects of that, but like that kind of like he was just pumping out those anger management. Yeah, you know, they're all very bad movies. Okay, here's a controversial one. Okay, Little Nicky, funny or not? Absolute fire. Okay, good. Absolute hidden gem. The original hidden gem is Little Nicky. Yeah, that movie. Fuck. Now we're just ripping on lines from Adam Sandler. There's they're at the when the Sons of the Devil take over New York City. It's New York, right? Yeah. And they're at the Globetrotters game. Again, a throwaway line. It's just like someone interviewing some kids, like, why'd you come to see the Globetrotters today? And these like two little kids like, we came for the beer and the bitches. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Great stuff. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed the Adam Sandler podcast. No, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Excited to get this out on time with all the jingles Dex promised. Yeah. And you know what? We're not gonna blue ball you this time. Just stay tuned. Keep listening. We appreciate you. There are big things coming up. Big switch up. We're gonna directionally go somewhere that expands our audience, and we're excited about that. Yeah, we're becoming a Scientology podcast. See you in Antarctica. Yeah. All praise the Lord Xenu. Xenu is him. Have a good one.
You won't want to miss the next episode. One of the most intense in Rad Dad history, Drew puts his body on the line to find out just how much Happy Valley food a grown man can ingest before it becomes lethal.